Oh, I know how we're starting. Okay, first I'll tell you what you need today. You're going to need your blanket for sure, or a thick towel, your yoga strap, your massage ball, and your 2 blocks. And we have one standing balance pose that's rather challenging, and so if you want to have a chair nearby to take the pose on the chair or to have the chair as support, feel free to have that handy. Or even if you're next to a stable wall or table or something, that would work. Not for sitting on, obviously, but just for holding on to. And we're going to start with chest openers. So we will start lying on our backs today. So for your blanket, we're going to have a really, really gentle chest opener. So I'm folding the blanket in half. And then in half again. And then when the long way that it's set up, I'm just gonna fold it. It's really up to you. You could fold it in half again, or you could fold it into thirds. But what you're looking for is kind of a long, skinny setup, 1 inch to 3 inches high, and folded equally. So just look out for little lumps, because we're gonna place this under our armpit area and lie on our backs. So finding your little blanket set up. And when we have that under the back, sometimes it makes it necessary to have a little extra support under the head. So feel free to use your block on the low setting if you need it. Otherwise, just your head on the floor is fine. Good. And then what I like to do is feel the edge of the bottom part of that blanket right around the very bottom of the tips of my shoulder blades. So if one were to wear a bra, it might be around that area. And then also you can tell that it's in the right place, because it's just where the armpits kind of start. So I've got a block under my head. And my knees are bent, but you are welcome to have your legs straight. I find bending the knees gives a little added lower back support with the knees knocking in toward each other. And then see what your arms want to do. Some of you might want to have your arms out and up, or maybe on your body, or even in a more of a Shavasana pose. So this little bit of pressure in the upper back is helping to support a lift of the chest, a very gentle heart-opening start. And then just notice if you need to make any adjustments to that setup so that you can be comfortable for the next couple of minutes. And once you're comfortable as you can be, start to focus on releasing the weight of your body into the support beneath you. And you could maybe do that from the head down, so letting the whole weight of your head release and your neck release. On your next exhale, feel your upper back settling into the blanket. Feel your shoulders starting to soften. With your next exhale, allow the hips and buttocks to kind of melt toward your mat, toward the ground. And allow the weight of your legs to surrender to gravity. Notice your feet. And notice your hands. And as the body continues to settle, bring your awareness to the quality of your breathing As you breathe in through your nose, is it unobstructed? Are you able to breathe through both nostrils? As you breathe out, notice the places in your body that contract to release air. And drop your attention to your belly button. And with the following inhales, imagine that your belly button has a little helium balloon attached to it, and as you breathe in, the belly starts to rise up toward the sky or the ceiling. And as you breathe out, you use a little bit of muscular tone to pull the belly button down and pull that balloon down a little bit, so you empty the lungs out completely. And then just letting that belly rise up again and down, focusing on the belly moving as you breathe. The next few breaths, you may notice that the breath wants to travel a little higher. So letting the belly rise like a balloon, and then letting that expansion carry through the sides of the ribs, front of the ribs, back of the ribs, all the way into the collarbones, and then letting out a long, slow breath, perhaps with lips pursed like you're blowing on hot soup. And now I invite you to release that breathing technique and let your breath return to a natural rhythm. And let your body be in this open and receptive asana or position. We are on day 39. Tonight will be the 39th day of the Omer. So we are exactly 10 days away from Shavuot, from the day we received Torah, received revelation. So we've been preparing our bodies and our minds and spirits for the wisdom that keeps returning to us over and over again. The wisdom that keeps arising from us over and over again. There's a poem by Arthur Green that I will, or not a poem, but a reading by Arthur Green that we will start with. Revelation, like creation, is an eternal process. The real faith question regarding revelation, like that of creation, is not, do you believe that it happened just that way so many years ago? It is rather, are you present to revelation here and now? Our inner eyes open to hearing the eternal message that calls out to us in every moment of existence. That message, the true essence of revelation, is Torah in its broadest sense, and its call may come through a great variety of channels. So the channel we explore in just right now is the channel of movement, body and breath, the channel through which we receive the true essence of revelation and wisdom, by being present here and now. So we're going to roll to the side gently and remove the support of the blanket. Just slide it off to the side and return to your back. If you had a block under your head, you can also remove that. Return to your back and with the knees bent, and just notice the quality of connection that your upper back has now with your mat. Notice how it might feel even like your back is a little bit of a suction cup to your mat. Just everything may feel a little bit more connected. And then keep your knees leaning in toward each other and walk your feet out to the edges of your mat. And with your arms, wherever you would prefer them to be, we can start to just drop the knees to the side. Make these movements really small to start. So dropping the knees from one side to the other. The soles of the feet will come off the mat, but the feet will stay placed in the same area. And just explore the movement of rotation in the lower back and in the hips. Take some big deep breaths as you bring some lubrication to the hip joints. Take another set from one side to the other. And then when you get back through center, go ahead and walk your feet toward each other again. And then hug your knees into your chest. Just get a little stretch there in that lower back. Rocking side to side, feeling the contact of your upper hip bones, getting a little massage. Let's do some ankle rotations, as full of a motion as you can get. And go both directions. And then bring your feet to the floor, knees are bent. We're going to do a little more shoulder mobility here. Everything that we do today has this underlying intention of opening the heart and the heart and throat area to just be in a receptive state. So we're going to bring the hands to the tops of the shoulders and just start doing some big circles, like you're closing your little angel wings. Those elbows might come toward each other, or they might even touch. It just depends on your body. And then move them toward each other and then up toward your head, and then let them open out to the sides. And then drop the elbows back down toward the rib cage, and then bring them back up and over the head. Just big circles. And take these nice and slow so that you can match your breath to the movement. Inhaling as you're opening up your wings. Exhaling as you're drawing the wings down and back in. When you get to the center, go ahead and reverse your circles. Again, exhaling as the body closes in on itself a bit, and inhaling as the wings open. Good. We'll make that your last one. And then just straighten those arms and point them straight up to the sky. So your wrists are right over your shoulders, and your hands are facing each other, but they're not touching. So everything's aligned, wrist and shoulders and inner elbows. And we're going to reach for the sky. So spread your shoulders apart and take a breath in. And then sink the shoulders back down into the sockets without straightening your arms. It's as if you're trying to squeeze the shoulder blades together to squeeze or pick up a pencil that's between your shoulder blades. Or give the pencil a hug. We can't pick it up. And then again, inhale and reach. Exhale, sink those arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. try alternating the movement, letting one arm reach, and then as that arm comes down, reach the other arm. And really bring as much attention as you can to those muscles between the shoulder blades, behind the heart. Shine light in those darker places that don't get as much attention. Good, let's do one more set on either side. And then let your arms drop down by your sides. And just pause there for a moment. We're going to turn to our sides now and press up really slow. Let your head be the last thing to come up. And we're going to come to hands and knees for some cat-cows, just to explore that mobility in the spine. Connect your breath to the movement. See what feels better for you. Traditionally, we exhale as we round the back. But if you want to try inhaling as you round the back and exhaling as you arch, see what that feels like for your back. Are there any other movements that the spine wants to do? Maybe some hip circles or side bending. And then we'll take a puppy pose. So we keep the hips up high and we just walk the hands out in front and then drop the head toward your mat or toward a block if the mat feels far away and isn't accessible right now. And walk your fingers as far forward as you can and use your fingertips like little cat paws. Try to grip onto the mat and then shift your weight back a bit so that we can get right into the underarm area. All of these axillary muscles that help us with breathing. We can't be here and now if we aren't able to be fully in our breath. So breathing, supporting the body to get full breath. Good, and then now you can just shift your weight back toward your heels if that's comfortable for you and bring your arms a little closer to your body for some form of child's pose if that works for you. And then press yourself up. We're going to do a little bit of kneeling. So if you want to use your blanket under your knees, we won't be here for a long time, but we'll be here for a few minutes. We're going to use 2 blocks as extensions of our arms. And we'll start with the right foot forward. And the foot or the ankle can be under the knee. And I'm actually just going to use 1 block for this myself, just to support weight. So the left hand can stay on the left, on the block on the left side. So the block is right on the inside of your right foot, just about, maybe a little out to the side. And we're going to bring the right hand to the right hip and just take a really gentle twist, pressing your right elbow back behind you. Good. And then we're going to release that arm and shift forward a little bit and reach with our arm and then swim the arm back. So let's exhale as we reach forward, just support the belly, and inhale, swim back. Exhale, reach forward, inhale, swing back. And take care of your body. So whatever form of this works for you, you can do that, modify as needed. So we're warming up the hips and stretching out these legs in a more of an active manner today. Let's do one more. Good. And let's switch sides. So the left foot forward, and then keep a block, at least one block on the inside of that left foot. Bring your left hand to your left hip and start to take a really gentle twist to your left. Pull the belly in and squeeze your glutes on that right side so it gives you a little more stability. Take a breath here. And then exhale, come to face forward and reach your arm forward. Inhale, swim the arm back. Exhale, forward. Nice and slow. Good, last one. And release. You can use both your blocks if you'd like to get you back to both knees. And take a little child's pose or even a cat-cow, just releasing your back. And then come back up onto your knees. We're going to do a very gentle modified version of a camel pose, which is another heart opener. So your toes can be tucked if you'd like, or your feet can be flat on the floor. I would like you to imagine that your hips, your frontal hip bones are pressed against like a glass wall, or like a, I don't know, just some kind of a wall shape. And you're going to squeeze your glutes and press them even more into this invisible wall. And then bring your right hand and your left hand to your sacrum, or that very lower part of your back, and drop your shoulders away from your ears. This might already feel like work. And then see if you can imagine that you have a small beach ball between your elbows, and squeeze that beach ball and reach your heart forward as you do so. Good. Keep your belly pulled in. Your gaze is slightly up, not to the sky, but maybe out in front of you and up a little bit. And breathe. Keep squeezing and pressing your hips into this wall in front of you. And exhale, release. You can sit back if you want. Release your shoulders. Good. Let's go ahead and come to standing and bring your everything with you. So have everything nearby. So your massage ball, your blocks, and your strap. So we'll start with a couple of sun breaths. So for forward folds, that's when you're going to want your blocks in front of your feet or the seat of a chair if you're only coming halfway down. So let's stand with feet hip width apart. Good. And inhale, reach up. And exhale, flat back, dive forward and find your forward fold. Knees can be bent. Head is relaxed. Release the weight of your head to find some traction in that upper neck and upper back area. Find your breath. And now pull your belly in and look up and start to come up with a flat back. Arms out to the sides. Reach up and hands to your heart. Good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive forward. Let your head go. Become aware of your feet and press into all parts of your feet as you look up and rise up. Reaching those arms out and up. And hands to your heart. Let your eyes close or have a soft gaze toward the floor. Just take a moment to be here now. Are you present to revelation here and now? We're going to work on our feet now, so you can move your blocks off to the side. And start with your right foot and just give it a little massage. Think about the ways that your feet help you to be here now. When you are aware of your feet, like in any given moment, if you take a breath and bring attention to your feet, it helps you to literally get grounded. It helps you to be present where you are. It's a great technique to use, like before you're going to do a presentation, or if you're in a conversation where it's easy to be outside of yourself and over there with the other person and you want to be present, more present for that interaction. Feeling your feet is really important. Let's switch to the other foot. Notice what you feel. Again, just acknowledging your feet for the journey that they have taken you on thus far in your life. Keep your breath flowing. Good. And then go ahead and move the ball off of your mat and take a little bit wider stance, wider than hip distance, and just do some really big circles. Nice and slow. Keep your belly engaged so that when you lean forward, you're not stressing out your lower back. Big circles, and you can go both directions. Good. And then come back to center, and you can keep your wide stance. We're going to go right into some twists with a soft tapping or thumping on the chest and lower back. Make sure you lift the foot as you twist so that your toes and knees are aligned as you twist. Good. That protects your knees. So getting some energy flow with this. And bring that to stillness. Good. We're going to do a little bit of brain balancing. It's also a shoulder opener as well. We haven't done this in a while. It's one of my favorites. So it does take a lot of concentration. So and I will not be mirroring you. So that's going to be the challenge. So you're going to look at me and you're doing the opposite. So just focus on my words. We're going to swim the right arm back behind us, just like you're doing a little backstroke. Right arm is swimming back. Good. You can make it smaller if your shoulder's bothering you. It doesn't have to be a really big movement. Make it comfortable. Good. So the right arm is swimming back, and pause. And now the left arm is going to swim forward on its own. Feel your feet. Good. All right, and pause. And now bring both arms up overhead. And you're going to swim your right arm backward and your left arm forward at the same time until you come down towards your legs. And just keep going. Right arm back, left arm forward. If it gets confusing, it's okay. Your brain's actually still getting stronger by just focusing on this exercise. Good. So we're going to try to get those arms to meet at the top at the same time. Stop at the top. Here's level 2. Not really, but the next level of whatever we're doing. So now you're going to swim your left arm back and your right arm forward. So we're doing the opposite. Left arm back, right arm forward. And go as slow as you need to go. And smile, because smiling is really good to offset any frustration or any heat building in your shoulders, any discomfort. We're gonna do one more. Yay, good. Okay, let those arms drop. Oh my goodness. Shake that out. Okay, we're going to now take the block, one of our blocks on the smaller, shorter setting, and slide it between the thighs. And then line your feet up so that your ankles are under your knees and under your hip bones. So everything, if you draw a line, your hip bones, knees, and the center of your ankle joint would be about lined up. Grab your strap. I probably should have told you to do that first. Grab your strap. Good. So while we have the block between the thighs, we're going to squeeze it. Just give a little squeeze, a little activation, and keep that activation there as part of your core. And then bring your strap overhead with your palms facing me. And drop your shoulders away from your ears. We don't want to shrug the shoulders up. We want to let them just nestle in where they belong for right now. Squeeze the block and then lean over to your right side. Pull your belly in. Good. With your breath, float back up. Take a breath in. Exhale over to the left. Keep squeezing your block. Inhale. Come on up. We'll do one more set. Squeeze the block. Lean over. Keep your belly pulled in. Reach, reach, reach diagonally. And come on up. Last one. Squeeze and reach. Good. Arms are going to come up overhead and then slowly bring them down. Do some big shoulder circles. Go ahead and keep your, actually you can let go of your block. We're going to do a really simple shoulder stretch to prepare for our pose, one of our standing poses. So take your right arm and just bring it across your body, and then your left hand or elbow is going to hold on to that arm and give you an outer shoulder stretch. Shoulders like to shrug up at this point, so you want to drop your right shoulder down and then pull gently on the arm to get a deltoid stretch here. And I like to just throw in some wrist circles because, hey, why not? Just do a little bit of everything. And then we're going to release that and change sides. One more breath. And release. Good. Okay, so we're going to do a side angle pose. So we're going to start, you can have a block at the top of your mat nearby. You can also have the chair with the seat facing you nearby if you want to use that for support. So we'll step the right foot forward and we'll set our body up for side angle pose. So the front ankle intersects with the back arch and that back leg is turned in just a little bit. And then when you're ready, we're going to just bring those arms so that left arm comes up, right arm is inside of the right thigh. Now here's where if you needed a chair or wanted a chair or a block, you could use that. Or you could lightly place your right arm on your knee, but we're not hanging out here. So we want to make sure we're using the core and the legs to lift us up, and this lower arm is just a little bit of alignment and support. Breathe here. Side angle. And then straighten your front leg. And we're going to stay with the left arm up. We're coming right into triangle. So the front leg is straight, and you might just come a little bit lower, maybe reaching for your block, or just keeping your hand on your thigh and pressing your hips into that invisible wall again. This is a lot of work. Good, you look great. Take a breath. And as you exhale, keep your front leg straight and drop your back hand and lift your front hand. This is a reverse triangle. So We're reaching up high, kind of like reverse warrior, but the front leg is straight. And breathe. Stretch that abdominal area on the right side. And then float your arm down. And we'll keep our legs wide and just turn all the toes to face forward. We're going to take a wide-legged forward fold. So when you're ready, hinge forward at your hip crease and land either on blocks, if you would like them, or the floor with your hands. And just let the effort go that you were just in on that right side. Feel the outer edges of your feet connecting to your mat. Take a deep bow in reverence to this life, to the mystery of this life, to the revelations that are here all the time. And then press into your hands to lift you up halfway. And you can heel toe your feet together until you're ready to come up with a flat back. And then you can step your feet together. If you used a chair, you might move your chair, or just know that we're going to switch to the other leg. So block is at the top of the mat. And we'll set up for side angle. So the left foot is forward, knees and toes point forward. Toes are lined up with the knees here, facing the same direction. Back leg is turned in. Check your front heel and see if it's around intersecting the back arch. Good. And then pull the belly in and come into side angle. And breathe and feel all parts of your feet connecting to your mat. Pull the belly in. This is really important to give you some strength to lift up a little bit and straighten your leg. You can use your hand on a block on the outside of your leg, coming into triangle, or you have the chair seat if you need it. Press your hips into the invisible wall. Open your heart. Sometimes it's really challenging to open the heart. Bend your front leg and then press into that front foot. And then we're going to take our reverse triangle. So go ahead and straighten the front knee again. Lift the left arm up. Back arm just stays by your body on your leg. Ready to receive revelation. Let your arm come down. We're going to once again turn those toes out. Turn the toes to face forward. The legs are still nice and wide. We'll take one more forward fold here. Turn your head gently from side to side. Nod your head, yes. Open your mouth, stretch out your jaw. And then press into your hands, start to walk your feet together. And keep your belly pulled in as you come up. I like to put my hands on my hips and rise up nice and slow. Good. So we're going to take eagle pose. So the chair, I'm going to just show you right now is anyone using a chair? Well, it doesn't matter because we're recording this, so if someone's at home using a chair, this is good to show. So if you're using a chair, options for eagle pose are when we cross our legs. You can just squeeze those legs together, squeeze the shins together, and then the arms are still going to do what eagle arms do, which we're going to go through in a second. So the idea is shoulders over hips and legs squeezing together. That's whether you're seated or whether you're standing. You can also just use part of the chair for support. So know that that's there. So we're going to Keep the feet about hip width apart. Just bend the knees, come into a little bit of a chair pose. Pull the belly in, and then cross the right ankle over the the right knee over the left knee. And squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You can also put your toes, the right toes on the ground too, just for a little extra support. Whatever is fine. You just do what works for your body. And then the arms are going to come into a T, and you're going to bring your right arm under your left arm, and then bend those elbows and try to get a hold of your thumbs or your palms. This is a very challenging pose. You can stop at any point and just stop at some portion of the pose, but the only thing that matters is your breathing. And that's great, and we're gonna stand up and release that and shake it out. And as we're ready, we're gonna take the other side. So think of this eagle pose as you're embodying that energy of an eagle, right? Just big, broad view from above, from overhead, lots and lots of clarity, able to see and have vision for truth, right? For truth, for revelation. So this time we're gonna stand on, what did we do last time? Stand on your right leg, cross your left knee over. You're gonna sit down in your chair. This time the left arm comes under the right, and bend those elbows. Find something to look at that is not moving, and breathe. Keep squeezing the belly in, squeeze the legs together. One more breath, and rise up and release. Good, shake it out. Just do a little shake everywhere. We'll do one more forward fold. So bring your feet right under your body. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive forward, let it all go. Engage your belly, start to rise up with a flat back in mountain pose. So feet will stay hip width apart. Roll the shoulders back and down, palms slightly face forward, gazing at the floor or closing the eyes if that is okay for your balance. Take a moment standing in mountain as if your body is Mount Sinai. This strong, grounded, immovable presence. Grounded in truth. And then we're going to make our way now to the floor. And we will have our block nearby, blanket if you think you might want it for Shavasana. And let's go ahead and come onto our backs. And let's cross the right ankle over the left thigh and just take our figure 4 stretch. Just letting go of anything that built up in there with our standing poses. Those are really challenging standing poses. Part of the journey for the Israelites as they were making their way over these 49 days was discomfort. How do we move through discomfort to get to the truth, to get to the gift? How do we stay present and committed to receive the gift that's waiting for us on the other side of that discomfort? How do you do that? Go ahead and change sides. What supports do you have in place in your life that help you journey through the uncomfortable parts? What qualities inside of you do you call on to move through your journey? To get through the unknown, the parts that feel scary and unknown. Go ahead and release this side. And then walk your feet really close to your bottom, and you may have to adjust this, but start with as close as you can get to your bottom, and then open up your knees and to Sup Tabata Kanasana, which is just a bound angle pose on your back. And you can use blocks under your knees, under the bottom of the knees, or you can even shift your hips from side to side and scoop your fists underneath the outer edges of your buns, and that helps a lot too. And just take a moment to let those inner thighs release. And as you put your feet farther away from your bottom, then it'll take pressure off the hips. So play with it until it feels like a place you could take a few breaths and rest. You can use your hands if you'd like to help guide your knees back up to center. And then shift your hips over to the right a few inches and place them back down, and let your knees drift over to the left. You can have a block under those knees or between the knees if you'd like. Just coming into a gentle twist here with maybe the arms in a T position so that you can have that open-hearted, open chest position if that's comfortable. And look over your right arm. Start to let that body cool down, come into a more receptive state. We moved through the journey in the body, the wilderness of our body, and some of it was maybe a little uncomfortable or challenging, or really challenging. And now we have arrived. Notice your belly button and pull it in, and then bring your knees back up to center, and then just shift your weight over to the other side and take your twist over to the right this time. Once again, pull the navel in very gently. Bring those knees back to center. Do anything else that you would like to do to release any tension in the body that would allow you to settle into a restful Shavasana. Use all the props you have available as needed. Take your time with whatever shapes your body is in, just listening to the wisdom of your body. And if you haven't moved toward Shavasana, I invite you to do that now. Revelation, like creation, is an eternal process. The real faith question regarding revelation, like that of creation, is not, do you believe that it happened just that way so many years ago? It is rather, are you present to revelation here and now? Are our inner eyes open to hearing the eternal message that calls out to us in every moment of existence? That message, the true essence of revelation, is Torah in its broadest sense, and its call may come through a great variety of channels. Let stillness now be the channel through which your own wisdom arises. I lift my eyes, I see and I behold. I lift my eyes, I see and I behold. I lift my eyes, I see and I behold. I lift my eyes, I see and I behold. I lift my eyes, I see and I behold. I lift my eyes, I see and I behold. I lift my eyes, I see and I behold. I lift my eyes, I see and I behold. I lift my eyes, I see and I behold. I invite you to place a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly. What's the eternal message that calls out to you in every moment? It's always here for you to see and to hear. Take a deep breath, letting your hands in rise when they're resting on your belly and chest. Just feel them rise as you breathe in and let out. And again, breathing in a nice big breath and letting it out. And take all the time you need to roll to your side, come up to a seated position with your hands in prayer at your heart. And we close with our universal blessing. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free. May all beings be loved. May all beings have peace. May it be so. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Shalom.